And good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Dr. Cheryl Chapman on Radio W.O.R.K.S World. I hope that you are well. Sorry to keep you waiting. You know, somebody had to do their frigging hair, didn't they? I'm joking.
No, absolutely understand computers.
Please welcome us, Cheryl Chapman and Kirk Miller. Hello, superstar man. Come to join me. Thank you for agreeing to be interviewed by me today. He's looking a bit worried, isn't he, guys? What do you think? Hello, Roger. I can see Roger's here. And Kieran McCann. I don't know if you know that person.
He's a fellow shredder, Cheryl. He's a fellow gym rat.
Oh, so he knows what you like then. That's all right. Hope that you're well. Sorry for the slight delay. As I said, we were just a little technical difficulty, but there we go. So here we are. And so first of all, the way that we do this programme is, I love the fact that Kirk's quiff has just not moved an inch, despite.
It's got to be, Cheryl. Phenomenal hairspray.
I might have to get some myself. So the reason why we're doing this program is so my role in life really is to help people to change their story, share their story, and inspire others. And I do that in two ways. I do that by helping people create their stories so that they can tell people why they do their businesses. Their expert stories, if you like. And I also help people change their stories in terms of through my therapy work, through rapid results transformation. And so we're doing this through a number. I love it. Kirk's putting me off. Look at that intense look. What's that? Is that a sexy look or is that an intense look?
No, I'm just pleased that I can sit still for more than 2 minutes.
Please be natural, yeah. So I'm going to ask Kirk some questions. It looks like he's in the hot seat. I'm not quite sure why Kieran's not getting any sound. He said he can't hear you. Roger, can you let me know if you can hear us? Because we can hear each other perfectly well here. Anyway, we'll carry on. It will be recorded and you'll be able to watch the recording back. So first of all, let's start with, please, can you introduce yourself, Mr. Kirk Miller? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Kirk Miller. I'm recently 34 years of age, knocking on. Yeah, I'm a self-employed personal trainer, occasionally a fitness model. And I feel quite a unique individual for many different reasons. So, yeah,
pretty much. I think we're all unique, aren't we? I love the fact previous model. It's like previously found on lost. Okay, everyone can hear us now, so we're fine. So we're good. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the first question, which is, and it might seem a little bit odd, but there is a reason for this, and that is, what was your favourite story as a child, Kirk? Can you remember that far back, all those 30, however many years?
Wow. Favourite story as a child? It was maybe, I don't even know, maybe something to do with Superman or something like that.
That's quite interesting from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, maybe something to do with that. He-Man, I don't know if that's a story as such, but I love watching those shows. Yeah, anything where there was a bit of a hero, you know, someone who saved the day. They always resonate with me for sure. And then obviously that led into my love for Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he was another hero. So yeah, I've always liked the hero stories, you know, also where someone comes at the end of a story to save the day. And I can't really think of anything specific, but obviously them sort of characters. I definitely remember being a huge He-Man fan and Superman and
She-Ra, warrior.
Yeah, that's it. Anything where there was like a euphoric figure, you know, someone who, you know, was big and brash, and maybe still why I'm the way I am sometimes.
This is where we can now see that people are commenting on, like, well, what a surprise.
I can't see any comments, but
no, okay. I can see the comments. I'll let you know what people are saying. So just, if you know Kirk already, if you're watching this on repeat, or if you're watching this live with us, thank you for joining us live. Send us some hearts. You know, you can still, like, you know, say you like us, etc. But yeah, if you think that that's no surprise to you, then I'd be interested in seeing what your comments are, so we can share them here. So okay, so as a boy, what were you like as a young boy then? What was it like in the Miller household?
Most of my recollection of my childhood, I mean, my memory's awful, as you personally know, but I just remember being obsessed with football. literally, I was completely obsessed with football. I remember from the age of 3, 4, my dad gave me a football, and all I cared about was just kicking a football at every opportunity. Fighting with my brother, who when he came along religiously, but just playing football, and I was obsessed by sport and anything that even from an early age, anything that was quite competitive. You know, even when we did like the little sports days, and I remember races at school and things like that. So I was just obsessed with football. I literally, you know, and obviously Christmas and stuff, I used to love those days. You know, my mum and dad, they were unbelievable parents who you know, even though we weren't exactly brought up in like an affluent area, they were unbelievable parents who they gave us everything. You know, I always had the best football boots and stuff. So I was just mad for football.
Yeah. At the risk of like the whole of Coventry, you know, throwing tomatoes at me, was it Coventry City that you supported?
No, I wasn't. I was obsessed with Manchester United for sure. There was.
That's where the interview ends, doesn't it?
I know you get the glory boy comments, you know, from other fans and stuff, you know, but my dad put the kit on me at the age of 3, and maybe my dad was a Glory fan because I think he used to support Leeds. So then he started supporting Man United, but he gave me that kit, and then I was just obsessed with Manchester United football. That was what it was all about. Yeah.
It's the right part of the country for me. It's just the wrong red, really. Got to be fair. Got to be honest. But anyway, my husband will be pleased. Mr. C will be like that. Yay! Cool. Okay, so you grow up in a house that your mum and dad are giving you as much as you can. You're loving He-Man. You're watching a bit of Superman, and you're just obsessed with football. You know, like any kid sort of thing. So what I'm going to ask you now to share with everybody. Obviously, I know a little bit about this, but what I want to know is, so what's your story and how did it start? So obviously, this isn't. You know, we haven't got long enough to go through the whole of the 30 odd years. But, you know, we know that you had a passion for football. So where does the real kind of story start for Kirk in terms of football?
Yeah, as I said, that's what I did from primary school, secondary school, through probably just religious practice, and that's all I did. I got pretty good at it. Got picked up at the age of 11 by Coventry City, and then things got a little bit more serious then, because it's not just a kick about with your pals. You know, you sort of coached on trying to become the best you can be. Obviously, your dreams to be a professional footballer, and that's all I thought about. I worked hard at school and stuff, but ultimately my whole attention around the studying and stuff was football. And then lucky enough, got took on as a apprenticeship as a young professional at Coventry. Was there for 3 to 4 years, and then the dream was shattered. Dare I say it? You know, at the age of 19, 20.
Yeah. What happened on that day then? What happened when the dream was shattered?
I'm in a big, you know, enclosed office. Sat facing me is ex-Scotland international Gary McAllister. He'd won everything in the game. Everything I aspired to be in football. You know, I've got a man facing me who's probably achieved everything that was my dream, and he's telling me in a nutshell that I'm not good enough and I'm not going to get another contract. So it's safe to say, obviously, it didn't really hit me there and then when I was sat facing the big man. But you know, I think in hindsight, looking back, that messed me up a little bit. Well, for a long time, you know.
Yeah. How old were you?
Not 19, 20, and as much as I'd done okay at school, around that, ultimately, you know, I was lost. You know, you're sort of thinking, what do I do now? A lot of people who were in my situation have been told the same thing. They continue to pursue that dream of being a footballer, but I knew there and then in my heart that was me done with football, you know, especially at any sort of decent level. But I didn't know what to do, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I don't know if anybody's listening, if they've ever had a situation where they've really put their heart and soul in something, you know, they want to do something, and then basically someone says, you're not good enough. I don't want to really relate this to X Factor, but I remember watching an American X Factor, and this girl was told, you know, you're not good enough. Sharon Osbourne, you know, same neck of the woods, you know, Birmingham originally, I think, you know, told her you'll never be able to play a violin and dance. You know, you sound like a cat's chorus. And she went on to become like a massively, like, you know, world-renowned, acclaimed star. And every time I watch that video, you know, even though I can be a, you know, frozen woman, you know, it just brings a tear to my eye because I think, God, you know, like I know what that was like. I'd love to tell you that when I was 15, they told me I was too big to be a ballerina and that was my dream. But actually, I was quite pleased because I didn't like ballet. But anyway, enough about me. Back to you, because you're the interviewer. So, so there you are, and you're in this place that's like, I mean, feeling what? Desperate, destitute? How are you feeling?
Just lost, and I'd probably say for that was the first time in my life that I felt that I didn't have control over where I was going to go next. And yeah, you feel like smaller as a person. I can't explain it. And my initial reaction was, I'm going to prove you wrong, but something inside me said to me that the football thing was, one should do it as a job, as a young professional. If I'm honest, the enjoyments were sort of sapped out of it a little bit anyway, you know, just with the way professional football works. And I'm grateful for my time there, but I just knew that, you know, that it just wasn't for me anymore. But I just felt like, what the fuck do I do, you know? And you start thinking then about different careers, and at that point, although obviously I'm now a trainer, something like that, becoming a personal trainer or something like that, was too obvious. You know, it was too obvious. And also then, when I first considered, for example, getting into fitness, when that first happened, you got a lot of people telling you, you know, oh, you're never going to make good money from that. You know, personal trainers don't earn that much, especially in Coventry and things like that, you know. And I maybe listened to that, if I'm honest. And so I retrained. I look back and I think it's mental, but I retrained as a plumber and gas engineer, because that was safe, and everyone says you've always got work, you get a trade under your belt, and all that bullshit, you know. It's
so what I mean, I've got to be honest. I mean, obviously, I've only known you, you know, less than a year, really. So obviously, I only know the Kirk that is now. So it's great that you're sharing, you know, some of your past with us. But just in terms of like, what is every day like when you've been there thinking you're going to be a footballer, you've been told that it's no good, and then you go, okay, I tell you what, I'll retrain in a, as you say, safe job. I mean, what are you doing? Are you pissing about? You know, are you serious? What's going on?
I mean, if I'm honest, like, I mean, somehow, I've got to be honest with this now, I somehow fucking stumbled my way through the course itself. Did just enough to qualify. I remember being in the gas course, the guy had to, you know, tell me to leave. He said, come back tomorrow, because my head was that fucked that, apologies for the language, by the way, I swear a lot. But my head was that messed up, because it wasn't my passion. It didn't come naturally to me whatsoever. And because I wasn't interested in it with a view to being a true passion, I'm doing it because it was a job. I never really massively paid that much attention. It was just enough to know enough to get my qualification, etc., etc. And, you know, I did okay. I weren't, no matter what my friends say who are plumbers, I wasn't that bad as a plumber. You know, when I applied myself, and I hope my employers don't watch this, but I worked harder for side jobs than I did my day-to-day job, because there was more pressure. It was my time, it was my money, and I suppose it sort of, with that being in mind, I've always worked better under pressure in whatever I've done, and the plumbing thing was no different. But it was, I lived for the weekend. The worst thing about that was, because I was doing a job that I was just clock watching and still get my stuff done, but, you know, I couldn't wait for the weekend. It was literally a vicious cycle of living for the weekend, where you're doing a job 9 to 5, maybe with a Saturday work to earn some extra money. And I've got to be brutally honest, I'd generally piss it up the wall from Friday to Sunday. I'd be drunk and worse, you know, every single weekend. I did some shit that, you know, that I think you'd never really do that if you're in a happy place. But I was sort of stuck in a rut. I couldn't see a way out, if that made sense. And even though, yes, I had the safety of the gas engineer and all that stuff, you know, for 5-6 years, I mean, I'm grateful for that time, because it's made me appreciate what I've got now. But it was no way to live, you know, and that's why I try and say to people now, like, fuck the money and fuck what's safe. It's you just dying a slow death, you know. If you're in a job and you're clock watching for 8 hours a day, that ain't the way to live, you know.
Yeah, I have a saying that says, if you ever get to Friday and you say, thank God it's Friday, it's time to change your life. I mean, to be honest with you, I very rarely know what the day of the week it is. Look, if anybody else has got any questions, by all means, just post them so we can ask the questions. I'm really glad that you said that you were quite a good plumber, because I just got visions then of like all the people in Coventry going, hang on a minute, I recognise him. He did our plumbing.
Yeah, I went too bad at like maybe bathrooms, and it was just the shitty jobs that I hated doing, like the core drilling and getting floorboards up. I mean, yeah, it's just.
Anyway. Let's move on. You did that for how long?
From the age of maybe 21 to 26, 27. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay. So the question is, so what changes did you make in your life to come over these challenges? What happened? So there you are, you're being a plumber, and then it didn't happen overnight, did it? What happened?
Not really, but I suppose the moment that was pivotal to the change in mindset as much as anything else was, that sort of happened by accident. I mean, I've spoken about this many times, but in 2009, I was a very good friend of mine, Sonia. I speak about her. She fucking literally, I had that woman, Sonia Dawson. If she's watching this, she knows I owe that woman everything. 2009, I entered the men's health competition. Well, I was that lazy and sort of lack of focus and probably just floating through life at that point that I only entered that because she wrote the 250-word essay for me. You know, you need to write a 250-word bio about yourself. You sent 3 pictures. I was that, not even lazy, if I'm bluntly honest, Sarah, and just sort of stuck in a rut that she did it for me. She did it for me. I entered the competition, and this is again what a bad place I was in my life right then was. I literally made the final. I had a phone call off Men's Health. I missed the phone call because I was doing a fucking plumbing job. Listened to the voicemail. It said, "Kirk, you made the Men's Health final. Can you call back?" I called back a week later. I mean, what? Anyone else? You just call back, you know, a day, you know, there and then. I called back a week later, and they said, "Yeah, you made the final. But let's give it to you, someone else." I was heartbroken, and I just thought, "Oh, fuck it, it is what it is." I kept training and stuff, and then the following year, entered it again. Sonia again wrote the write-up for me. This time I bothered to take a couple of pictures myself, and yeah, and then very long story short, I was very fortunate enough to win that, and the penny dropped then. The penny dropped. The moment I won that, it was, my calling was fitness, passion, and fucking do something you're good at. I'm not good at that many things in my life, but, you know, I found something that I finally am, you know. So.
Yeah, brilliant. So that's 2010. So you do a bit of modelling. You're in the magazines. What does that life entail?
All it was that one thing that happened. It opened up doors for me. I'm very fortunate to have lots of publications, different magazines. Obviously, sponsorships came along the way, but it was more in terms of doing something in the job. Within 9 months of me winning that, I quit my job and obviously retrained as a personal trainer. And yeah, I went from, you know, just having fuck all really to yeah, just being in a lot better place, you know. And the thing is, when you're then doing something you're passionate about, you don't care what time you got to get up, you don't care what time you got to finish. And one thing I just categorically focused on was trying to give that much value to clients, people that the money would come with that. You know, I remember like you get lots of cash and stuff when you first start. I didn't even count. I just thought, fuck it, I'm just going to keep working and good stuff's going to happen, you know.
Yeah, cool. So the story now of where you are now, obviously you're doing your fitness. What's the story for you now, Kirk? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, so the business has evolved from not just one-to-one stuff, but online training. I mean, the beauty of social media now and having a half decent following is you can obviously help people all afar from all different neck of the woods. And the one thing that, aside from the money and the business side of things, the one thing I actually love what I do now is I meet so many different people, different personalities, and being a huge people person, it's just fantastic now to connect with more people. So I do the one-to-one stuff, the online stuff, online training. I also brought out my first video trainer in the summer, which allowed me to, again, hit a bigger audience. And I was obsessive with that because I didn't want, especially what I do, I'm a perfectionist in what I do. And if I'm going to, I never want anyone to feel that I've sold them short in any way. So I brought out a video trainer, and then I've been lucky, obviously, to train a Bollywood actor as well, a Bollywood actor in India, which was a great experience. And then, you know, I've got some exciting times over the next few months, which, you know, I don't want to talk about this yet, but there's going to be a big change coming soon.
Well, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. Now, if you want him to tell us, you've got to put some stuff in the posting. You see, he says he's not going to tell us. What have I got here? I've got lovely Mark Ross. Tell Kirk he's a legend and inspires people. That's nice.
Yeah, the Mark Ross, he's a fellow My Protein ambassador. He's a great guy, and we're going to connect soon and produce a great workout. And I'm really grateful for any comment. I mean, every time I get a message like that or a post, the thing is, for me in my head, I'll never change. I'm not a celebrity in any way. I just fucking know how to get in shape and how to get people in shape. With social media now, a lot of people think that they have a bit of a following, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, you're David Beckham, and it's not. And no matter how successful I become, fingers crossed, then I will never, ever change. And that's one thing. That is my goal. Whatever I'm doing, whether it be the personal training, online training, whatever, speaking to people, I just want people to feel better for meeting me, and feel inspired in any way, and just feel better about it. I want them, anyone who meets me, they're going to fucking remember me, you know, so for the better reasons, hopefully. And I'm not scared to show a bit of vulnerability. You know, I've made so many mistakes in my life, and I'm always learning. I've not got things figured out. And there's still areas of my life that obviously I want to work on. And as I said in the post, you know, you can, social media these days, people only post the good stuff about what's going on, how successful I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, I just want to show people that, you know, we all have bad days and stuff, but, you know, just to remain true to yourself, honest, and just be prepared to be open about your flaws and work on them, and you won't go far wrong in life for sure. And always be grateful.
I think you're absolutely right there, Kirk, because I know, you know, we're doing a bit of work together, because, you know, a lot of the clients that I have, you know, very, very, you know, successful people, you know, international footballers, actors, you know, I mean, you name it, everyday people as well. I always say I work with OBEs, MBEs, CBEs and ABCs, because everybody's fucked, quite frankly, you know, in some shape or form. You know, we've all got some baggage, you know, from when we were kids, or, you know, when things happen to us in life, because that's kind of what happens. You know, life shapes us, you know, and forms us into, you know, some of these beliefs. You know, very easily, you know, you could have taken that message that you weren't good enough, you know, and I'm not being disingenuous to anybody who does any trade, I'm sure you don't, you know, but it wasn't good enough for you. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't good enough for you. You know, you knew there was something else. And so the fact that you came back out fighting, even though Sonia had to push you, bless Sonia, never met her, but I bless her anyway, you know, and now, you know, you're getting comments like, you know, from Faisal, you know, true inspiration, keep going, brother. You know, I mean, you know, I'm sure you're like me, Kirk, you know, when people make comments about what you do and you do what you love, it's just like it's the icing on the cake. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, absolutely motivating.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the one thing, and you know, when a brash comment, when I put a picture up the other day, and it's ironic that it's probably got the most engagement I've ever had on a social media picture, is when I did a picture when I was, you know, I had a six-pack out and then I'm in a suit and like, whatever. I just want people, and this is, I believe, if you're a decent human being, anyone should have this attitude. Whatever is on the outside, whether you're ripped, fucking good-looking, model, loaded, blah, 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 like that should not change how, you know, you look and treat other people, you know. And I will never, if you have 10p or 10 million, it don't mean fuck all to me. Ultimately, at the end of the day, right, you know, as much as I want to be successful and earn lots of money and all that sort of stuff, that's not the be all end all, because at some point it's going to be the end for all of us. So you just want to, I don't know, want to be as honest. And I feel that, especially on like, a lot of my clients who people get to know me a little bit better, is I've had so many ups and downs myself, you know, that I believe there's not much when I'm sitting facing a client that they can't relate to me in any way that I can help them through that. So yes, of course, the physique draws people in and all that stuff, but ultimately it don't mean shit, man. If you're meeting someone and you're looking down on anyone, then you need to take a harsh look in yourself and just be open with, you know, if you know you've got a niggling thing that's consistently bugging you, or if you've got an area of your life that you're not quite happy with, whether it be to do with relationships, friendships, your confidence, anything like that, don't be scared to just speak up and seek a little bit of help, you know, because no one's got it all figured out. That's one thing, especially obviously working with yourself, you know, it's no one's got stuff figured out. You know what you're good at, but just the problem with social media now is you think that your life's perfect, you think everyone else's life is perfect, and it's not. And just be open to, you know, if you've got something that keeps cropping up in your head on a regular basis, you're not quite happy with, or you know that, you know what, I'd love for that feeling not to keep coming back, then just seek a little bit of help and just talk. It's really for sure. Yeah, for sure. So
there's a couple of things that come on. I've got a nice smiley face there from William Morris. Thank you, William. Nice. And another nice comment for you here from Aaron Emery. What a great story. Motivation at its best, Kirk. You're a legend, mate. I like
just
that.
Being real, man. There's one thing I can categorically say with confidence, and I said this the other day, and anyone who says different, they don't know me. I want to be that person, and my goal is to be the most relatable, motivating fitness professional on the planet. You know, so there's no bullshit about me, you know, and the fact that I do the normal stuff, and sometimes I've, you know, we spoke about this personally to yourself. I've gone overboard in the past, and you know, when I party, sometimes I party too hard, and I've done some shit that I think, fucking hell, why did you do that? But it's just part of the script, and you know, you just got to learn from stuff, and but ultimately, I just want people, anyone who meets me, to know that they can talk to me at any time, you know, and it's just because someone's got fucking 6-packs and all that shit, you know, it don't mean anything. You know, at the end of the day, at some point we're going to be older. I'm probably going to eat too much food when I'm older and be a little bit porky, but okay. Just
wait for those pictures. But what I like about you, Kirk, is, you know, you kind of get what you see, which is great. I agree with you. You know, the only time you should ever look down on anybody else is if you're helping them up.
Yeah.
That's it. And every other time, everybody's just the same. You know, everyone goes to the loo. You know, everybody's human. And I think that's what the following really likes about you. I know, you know, I don't have a 6-pack. So I'm not your ideal client. Well, I probably could be, actually, but I don't want a 6-pack anyway. But what I do like about just following you and just seeing what you do, you know, is you will go, oh, here I am, I'm having a Sunday dinner, or here I am, I've had, you know, X, Y, Z. Because I think, you know, sometimes you have to let your hair down. Well, you probably won't let your quiff down too much.
Nah.
Yeah, but you're right. You've got to, you know, we're living in a world where you experience some things. Do you know what I mean? It's not a perfect life. It's not fake book.
I mean, with the food and the drinking and stuff, at the end of the day, everyone's got their own little things they like to do. And the thing is, if someone likes to you know, if they're doing a diet or a transformation program physically, you know, then they're happy training and eating chicken and broccoli, you know, for 12 weeks, you know, if that truly makes you happy, then crack on with that. I'm not jeopardizing that. And if you're in a job and you truly are happy, whatever you're doing, fucking anything, like whatever job you're doing, you're happy. Hobbies, if you're happy, brilliant. But if you're not happy about an area of your life, whether it be, you know, love, financially, one thing. And I know I've been guilty of this myself, you know, like when I was plumbing, I'd fucking moan about, I hate, you know, I can't be bothered to go to work. Like you said, the old Friday, I can't wait for Friday thing. For 5 or 6 years, I didn't take action on what I'm talking about now. As in, I might have said, yeah, you know, I'm not happy, but I did nothing about it. And the only thing that like gripes me a little bit, and this is where I'm quite black and white with what I say, is if I've got someone who's consistently moaning about being overweight and they're not happy about it, but you're continuing to do nothing about it, it's just a lack of respect towards yourself. And, you know, maybe you do need someone from out the box to help that, you know, just if you're not happy about any area of your life, just fucking change it, man, or at least set the wheels in motion to change that, you know. And that's something that I didn't do for 5 or 6 years. And if there's one thing now, especially I do think, dare I say it, and I'm getting a little bit older now, is I think don't live with regret, you know. That's the you know, it's got to be the worst thing. I remember, you know, I know one thing that crops up to me, just Gary Vee, for example, is remember he said, and when he said, you know, you go to an old retirement home, and he said, you look in someone's eyes and he said, okay, well, tell me about your life. And when someone says, yeah, I wish I did that, that's you know, that's the thing that, you know, scares you into action, should scare you into action a little bit, you know.
Yeah, they did. There was a palliative nurse who was looking after, I think it's cancer patients. It might not have just been cancer patients, but patients who were dying. And the number one regret that most of the people have is that they didn't lead the life that they wanted to. You know, they led the life what their parents wanted, you know, with all best intentions or whatever. You know, and for men, it's that they worked too hard. You know, they didn't see their family. But yeah, the number one regret is that you don't do what you want to do. So, you know, I didn't, you know my story. At the age of 48, I suddenly realised that I'd been careful all my life, because when I was 5, my mum said, be careful, because she gave me a key and I had to let myself in. Yeah. Great advice for when I was 5. But for the next 43 years, I carried on being careful. You know, didn't dare do things, didn't step out. I was really quiet, shy and retiring, and a little bit. Don't start laughing. Oh no, I see that laugh.
No.
But now, you know, now I'm standing on stages all over the world, and if I say to people, "You're a really quiet child," they're like, "Really?" But yeah, really, I was. So anyone who knows me knows that it's like that. So yeah. So if you're ever in a space, I absolutely agree with you, Kirk. You know, I've written a book, Find Your Why, to become, in your case, even more freaking awesome. But, you know, if you're not happy, then do something about it, because you can make small changes to make big changes, and that's definitely. Yeah. Some great comments here. So from Sirpa, we've got honesty and opportunity, which is great. I've got here Lee Brooks. Oh, well, that was my maiden name, so there you go. I like to see how real you are, honest and down to earth. We're all the same regardless of our physique. You are completely true. We do not know what's going on in someone else's mind. Take time to get to know that person, listen and seek some help. Thumbs up. Thumbs up to you as well, Lee. And I want to talk about this honesty bit, actually, because you were on telly recently with your celebrity friends, weren't you?
Yeah, you know what? I've got to be honest. I went on there purely to act up a little bit. I knew I'd have some fun, and I can't be brutally honest. You know,
I must admit, I don't know who the girl was. For those of you who didn't watch it, I mean, it's classic. You have got to watch the replay. Or replay. I'm showing me bloody age now, aren't I? Whatever it is, I don't know, on telly. You know, and you can rewind it.
Yeah, I was pissed up as well. So.
Yeah, and so let me set the scene for you in true storytelling style. So Kirk's there with his quiff. He's looking all that. He's sitting opposite a woman that I can only describe as looks a little bit based on a Barbie, who's an actress, I think. I can't remember her name. I'm really sorry. But you just look at the two and just go, don't really know if this is going to work, but let's see how we go. And, well, I don't want to give it all away, but there's a bit of toilet humour in there.
Yeah, I think the show twisted things a little bit, but, you know, it was, let's just say, you know, don't get me wrong. Again, one thing I respected about the girl, she was very honest. So yeah. It was on the Celebs Go Date, and she was very, very honest. But someone who sits there every 2 minutes telling me about Hollywood and red carpet and all that bullshit, you know, that's not a future partner of mine. You know, just I don't give a fuck if someone's packed, you know, 10 times, 20 times. You know, just at the end of the day, we're just people beneath the makeup and the pats and the red carpet and all that shit. You know, who knows? One day I might be on the big time myself, right? But you know, I'm not going to sit there and, you know, harp on about it too much, and I feel it would not affect my manners. So yeah, I just knew that I'd be real, and you know one thing, one of the reasons I'd probably say show, you know, that show, just that as an example, I'd say a couple of years ago I wouldn't have went on that. You know why? Because I'd have scared what people think. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that has massively changed in my life over the last couple of years. I think as long as you're not hurting anyone and you're not disrespecting anyone, I don't give a fuck what people think of me, you know, because I know that, you know, unless you've had a dodgy time in a relationship, you know, where obviously you're arguing, I get that. But, you know, aside from that, my intention is never to harm anyone. I'd never, even though I speak before I think sometimes, and I may say things a bit blunt, which I get from my mother. But it's all honesty, you know, and I'd never intentionally hurt someone. So I just thought, fuck it, you know, and I knew that I wanted people to see that I'm down to earth, and, you know, a sense of humour. And I think I did drink too much, to be honest, because I was a little bit nervous about going on the show, just because I didn't realise the camera was going to be right in my face. Like, you know, and I've never done a blind date in my life, let alone on TV, but it was good, nice bit of exposure. And to be honest, I knew, and I definitely achieved that. Anyone watching it could safely say that it was funny, and we just had some fun with it. So it was all good fun, but I wish the girl the best, but yeah. that sort of person, she's not the one for me. You know?
There was a couple of classic moments for me. One, first of all, it was clear that like the camera was near you, because you kept, when you well, I won't give it away, but anyway, you had something on your mouth, didn't you? So like you were kind of wet, but you were sort of looking at the camera at the same time, and that was like really funny. As if they must have been saying to you, no, there's still a bit more.
Yeah, they were. So obviously I've ate some food and it's all around my mouth. You know what? That's another thing. I think shit, I should have drank less time, because I had 3 gins on the train on the way down, and then I had 6 double vodkas, and I was actually sitting there before she come on thinking, fuck, I've overdone it a little bit here, you know, I've drank too much, and then she come out, and then obviously we were eating, and it was on my mouth, and I didn't realise, but there was a guy behind the camera who sort of gave me the nod, and then it was like, I just tried to style it out. But
it's dead funny, because you're just not getting it at all, so that was funny. And then the other classic moment for me was just at the end where, as I said, I was watching it with my mother, actually, and I said, this is a guy that I've been working with, and we get over the toilet humour bit, and then I said, oh my God, I think he's about to dump her. Or at least he's going to say no. And then her face was just like, and I loved the voiceover of the guy. That was just so real. Yeah. It was so funny.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Yeah, he absolutely hammered me. And that's the thing as well, like, he gave me a little bit. I love that. To be honest, I feed off that sometimes. You know, even on social media, I put a post up yesterday. Someone said I was a certain word or comments. You know, we all get a bit of hate on social media, and I love it, man. Just feed me. I don't care. You know.
I get it all the time. And I'm just thinking, well, at the end of the day, you know, I am who I am. My friend Marion, who you know, she says you can be the juiciest, ripest peach in the fruit bowl, and some people don't like peaches, and so you can't go through your life trying to be everything to everybody. You know, if people like it, that's great. If they don't, that's fine. They'll go off and find somebody that they do.
Be authentic and be true. Just be yourself, and the right people, as that saying, will come into your life and stay, and then some people will come in and out of your life. But it's even like, you know, relationships that didn't work out for me in the past and stuff like that. You know what? I don't regret any of it. It's all part of the script. You learn something from that, and you move on. And yeah, I wish anyone who's been a part of my life that's no longer a fixture in that all the best, and what we will be.
We've got a couple more comments here. So we've got, I hope I'm saying your name right, Sirpa. The best thing is to be honest for yourself as well. You're a wonderful man.
Thank you, Sirpa. I can't say the surname, but it's a great name.
And Sirpa Hanhisalo. Where you're from, Sirpa? Maybe you can tell us. Lee's just talking about the program. So now you have to go and see this and watch it, and you will both laugh. It releases some good energy, and seeing you both smile should be around all the world. If honesty makes this happen, we should all do a little bit of celeb TV.
That's it, man. I think I'd smash it in the Big Brother house, you know. Because
I was thinking about going in there, but not the same time as you.
No, I think you do. I think you do well, Cheryl, as well. I think I do well in there just because I literally, on a fucking minute by minute basis, I don't know what's going to come out my mouth sometimes. So
I know that I'd be going around hypnotising everybody and doing rapid transformational therapy on them. Can you imagine? Probably wouldn't be great TV. Everyone would be asleep.
Everyone in the house would just be floating, you know, rattling on. It's all good.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that with you. What I want to know now is, you know, so now I know you've got some big plans coming. I know you don't want to talk about them yet. We haven't had enough comments for people for you to reveal that yet. So there's still a little bit of time from everybody who's listening. But thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching us. Remember to give some heart and some love to this great guy. So if I were to say to you, have you got a quote that's helped you in life? You got like a quote that keeps you going, keeps you motivated?
There's a couple. There's one that from Arnold Schwarzenegger that really hits a note with me, and it's you can't climb the ladders of success with your hands in your pockets.
Nice.
You know, and he's one of the most motivating men on the planet, but. That you know that definitely resonates. And then also, is it Oscar Wilde possibly that says it? Just be yourself. Everyone else is taken.
Yeah, that's that. I think it is Oscar Wilde, and it's also from Dr. Seuss, isn't it? So
yeah. Again, I think that just you can't climb the ladders of success with your hands in your pockets, and you know, be yourself. Everyone else is taken, or be yourself. No one else does it better. You know, it's
yeah. Be yourself. Everyone is taken. I love that one.
That's the main message.
I'm looking back on the comments that you made, and particularly looking at the beginning, and just from the comments that have started to come through, you know, Sirpa saying thank you, and Lee that's joined us, and we've had Aaron and William and Faisal and Mark and Roger and Kieran, and thank you for joining us live, and anybody else who watches this. I want to say that you are one of the most honest people that I've met. I'm really glad that you're in my life at this moment in time, and I wish you all the success in the world. But I kind of think that maybe those little movies and those cartoons that you watched when you were a kid really shaped you a bit more than you think, because, you know, I genuinely get, you know, you're going to look like He-Man and Superman with that hairstyle, actually quite like Clark.
I was also mad on, I do remember I was crazy about Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior and wrestlers in the WWF. I remember watching that with my brother. We'd sneak and watch it late. You know, we'd try and get away with watching it, so my mum and dad wouldn't find out. But I remember that vividly. I was obsessed with wrestlers, and Hulk Hogan. Again, but he's another hero. You know, what was ironic with him? He'd always be losing in a fight, and then you always knew he was going to come back and win. And again, I think maybe certainly if I look at me as a person, And that's why one thing I've always tried to be as well, and I try and smell the warning signs now. One advice I'd say to everybody also is never get too comfortable. Never get too comfortable, because sometimes that's you end up. I've been there myself. You end up slipping backwards, or you just get complacent. And you know, I've always, if I look at maybe these cartoon characters that I used to love, they all come back and they're all the winner. They were under pressure at some point. At some point, they're in the shit, to put it bluntly, but they come back and they win. And I look, if I look at even when I played football, I always did well, and maybe I do like an audience, when I knew people were watching and there was pressure on me to do the business, and I inevitably did that. Even with the racing, you do a sports race and the stomach feeling was horrendous, but it got me going,
It drove you, yeah, which is good. Well, I think that you're a little bit like your action men back in there. I think that you're the hero for some other people, because you're true, because you're honest, because you're real. And yeah, you're right. God knows what's going to come out of your mouth from one second to the next, but that's part of your charm. So I want to thank you for being on the show. How can people get in contact with you, Kirk? How can they get in contact with you to find out more about what you do?
I have my website, which has lots of free content. Lots of free videos, training videos, and obviously all my online training plans, and they can get in contact with me for anything really, and that's via www.kirkmiller.co.uk. That's my personal website.
Good stuff.
And my social media, of course, which is Kirk_abs_Miller. Now, I must say about that I know that sounds maybe a tad egotistical, which obviously I'm not, maybe a tiny bit. Someone had already took Kirk Miller, so I wasn't too happy about that. When I joined the Instagram and the Twitter world, the Twitter's the same name also. That it was taken, and at the time I had pretty decent set of abs, so I just thought, okay, Kirk Abs Miller. And the thing is now I've dug myself a hole, because whenever at Christmas, when I pork up a bit, and even my mum calls me fat when I'm around my mum even called me fat at Christmas dinner, man. I had too much food and I was laid there. She said, Kurt, what's happening? Where's your abs gone? So maybe that's at Christmas I need to change the middle bit just temporarily,
What, to Pudding? Kirk Pudding Miller.
Yeah, just Kirk Greedy Miller. I'm just greedy shit sometimes,
Oh, fabulous. Kirk, all of the interviews that I do are going to go into a book which is called From Vibrators to Vibrations. Is pick up now, because I used to be an Ann Summers woman and I used to help people scream with joy, and now I help people be on good health.
I didn't know this about you.
Oh, there you go. So you've learned something new.
Yeah. Is it John, your fella? Let's see how you kept him happy.
Well, my fella's not called John. None of my husbands have been called John.
Sorry.
My dad's called John, but that's a whole different story.
No.
But yeah, so everyone, if they want to read your story as well, will be part of the Vibrators to Vibrations. Vibrations being, of course, good vibrations. And so I just want to say thank you so much, my friend, for being open.
And everyone who watches this, please follow Cheryl. She's one of the most inspirational, if not the most inspirational woman I've ever met. She's helping me through certain things at the minute, and she's an incredible lady. So if you need inspiring and need any form of help, mentoring in any way, this lady is the lady to see, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Not as inspirational as your mother. Just put that in there very quickly.
Of course, that's just pure love. My mum's also the funniest woman. I've only sort of realised that about my mother, and I know I'm rambling on now. I have a gift for rambling on, a tremendous gift for rambling on. My mum, I think as you get older as well, you realise, I think you love your parents even more, especially, dare I say it, my mum's hit the Facebook world, and Jesus, some of her posts, and she still calls me mummy's little soldier, and she comments on my, I'm like, oh, mum, but,
What's your mum called?
Susan Miller, Sue Miller, she's
Miller, we're going to follow Susan Miller, yay.
Facebook legend, but, some of her holiday pictures and videos, but she's so funny.
Definitely want more.
Yeah, I'll take and then I talk a lot because of my dad as well. So they're great parents, and I'm so grateful. And I realise
what's your dad called?
Alan Miller. They're both special people, and I think you don't realise till you're older as well what an even better job your parents did, and that if I could be, maybe one day if I have a kid, if I could be half the parent or have the half the parent skills them two have, then I'd be a happy man. For sure.
Yeah, good stuff. We wish you all the best in the world. Everybody for listening. Lee's just a great interview, both very inspiring. Thank you very much, Lee. Take care of whatever you do. This is saying goodbye from Kirk Miller and from Cheryl Chapman. So good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you next time on Be Live TV. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.